Ashley, are you with us right here?
I am.
Let's see if we can bring up your camera. Let's see. Bam. Look at that. How are you, Miss Ashley?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well. You can't see my face on the Zoom, but if you're on the YouTube channel, you can see it. So I
Okay.
apologize if you're just talking into a black wall here. But happy to
Yes.
have you on the stream here. Tell us just a little bit about who you are and where you're from and how you got involved in the Liberty Movement.
Yeah, so I am from Massachusetts. I am the Chairwoman of Outright Libertarians. I am the Education Director for the Vermin Supreme Institute. And I am a policy advisor for Spike Cohen.
Mm-hmm.
I've been involved with the Liberty Movement for a little over 2 years now, and it's very near and dear to my heart. And I'm a very proud libertarian and an activist for both the Liberty Movement and the GSM community.
Excellent. So Vermin Supreme is an interesting character in the modern political landscape.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about working with him and how he helps with empowering women's rights and what draws you so strongly to somebody like him.
So what drew me into working with Vermin, and I got a chance to join his presidential team and be a part of that. And I was his policy girl. So I did all of his policy that ended up going on the inonthejoke.net website, which was his legit policy for actually making change with libertarian goals and ideas. And I got drawn into working with Vermin and his team because they are the type of people, and Vermin helps culture this environment of love, compassion, and kindness for everyone. And so that's so important within this movement. And it's also so important for having more women involved in the movement. His campaign manager, Desiree, was a woman. So there were a lot of strong females as part of his team working to help. And we have just such a great culture as a team of kindness, love, compassion, empathy, and really doing the right thing. That makes everything worth it when you find a team like that. So it's an honor and pleasure to be a part of Vermin's team.
Excellent. So we're celebrating women's rights today, Women's Equality Day. What do you feel kind of drew you into the Liberty Movement? Was there anything specifically from the women's side of things that attracted you to the party?
Yeah, so I am transgender. I'm a transgender woman. And for me, there coming to Liberty was a natural move for me. It meant that I could be myself and be who I am. And it meant that I was free to do that. And I think that's what, in general, most of us want is the ability to be free to be whoever we are and live our lives how we choose. And that's so important to the women's movement as well, because we should all be treated as the same. We're all human beings at the end of the day, whether we have male or female parts, whether we are different religions, colors, races, whatever, no matter where we come from. At the end of the day, we're all human beings. And the Liberty Movement is the only movement out there that treats all people like human beings and says, you know what, everybody should have the right to be who they are. Everybody should have the right to do what they want to do as long as they're not hurting anyone else. And everybody should be empowered to speak and be heard if that's what they want to do. And so you only find that within the Liberty Movement. And that's what brought me here.
That's why you started Outright Libertarians, right?
So I didn't start. The organization's been around a long time. It's been around since '98. But I did recently become the chair back in June. I've been involved with Outright for a little under a year. I got involved last September. And this past June, I was elected the chairwoman. So I work with Outright Libertarians. Our organization is there to bridge the gap between the GSM or LGBTQ community and the Libertarian Party, to bring people in and show them that this is the party that cares about all of your rights all the time. This is the place where you can be yourself and you should be yourself. And when we talk about gender and sexual minorities, we're talking about all types of people. And that includes women, because women in society are still treated as minorities.
Yeah, it's weird when they're half the population. But how do you feel?
It is weird.
Do you feel like you're having a lot of success when you talk like with the LGBTQ communities? And for libertarians, I feel like we really don't care that much about what people do with their lives if they're not hurting anybody.
Exactly, and that's why we're the most natural home for that community to come in, because we're not going to sit here and say there should be laws preventing you from living your life. We want you to live your life as long as you're not hurting anybody else. Why do we care how your lifestyle is or what you're doing? And so we are natural allies to the LGBTQ, or as we call them, the GSM, which stands for gender and sexual minorities, for that community, because we don't care if you are gay. We don't care if you're whatever, as long as you're going to come in and be respectful and kind and treat people like human beings. We don't care what you do. Just don't hurt anybody and don't take their stuff. So working with, the outright libertarians and working with the LGBTQ community, I mean, for most of people within the LGBTQ community, we just want to be treated as human beings. We want the same access to the market that anybody else has. We want to be able to participate. And that's all we're asking, is for people not to restrict us from participating, to allow us to live our lives the way we choose, and not actively try to harm us with policy and legislation and whatever else. And that's kind of the libertarian way. Don't hurt people and don't take their stuff.
Yeah. Well, it's like being in a club that you don't have any choice to be in, but they can pass a lot of things that have a lot of say over your lives. So this is why we have to engage in political parties, even people that aren't necessarily very political. In general, we're all affected by these laws. What do you think of Dr. Jorgensen and the Let Her Speak campaign right now?
I think it's so important to have Dr. Jorgensen be able to speak. I've been able to have personal conversations with Dr. Jorgensen on different issues. And she's somebody who truly does care and wants to actually help people. And that's so important in a leader, to have somebody that genuinely wants to help people, to genuinely wants to see people have better lives. That's so rare in a presidential candidate. Presidential candidates only care about their power, their party, their power, and themselves. And we have somebody very intelligent, like Dr. Jo Jorgensen, representing our party. And while I don't completely agree with all of her positions, and I don't think we'll ever find a politician we 100% agree on, unless that person is yourself.
Yeah.
So, I may not agree with every position that she has, but she's very intelligent. She represents the party in a very intelligent way. And I believe that both her and Spike, their voices need to be heard around the country, because that's how we fix what's going on. That's how we make the culture better. That's how we bring liberty to everybody. So it's so important that Dr. Joe and Spike both be allowed to speak.
Yeah, it's a weird time, and it seems the Democrats are losing by talking too much about identity politics. Do you feel like they're losing out on like the GSM community? Is there a lot of opening space there? 'Cause they're not really.
There is, and here's the thing: the Democrats say, well, we're the, and a lot of people get behind this idea that the Democrats are going to save the LGBTQ community from Trump's harmful policies. But they're not, because if they wanted to save us from them, they would have done it years ago. They don't care about us. They throw us a carrot every now and then to try to help us, because that's how they suck in people and get them wanting to vote for us. But overall, they don't give a damn about the LGBTQ community. They don't give a damn about what we're doing or what our problems are. And they're really just trying to get people to vote for them. By every now and then they throw something out there. It took until 2016 for marriage equality to be the law of the United States. That could have been done decades ago, and it wasn't fought for. The Libertarian Party's been fighting for that since its inception. So, the Libertarian Party and the Liberty Movement is the natural home for disenfranchised people who are sick and tired of the elites telling them when they should and shouldn't do things, who are sick and tired of getting fed little carrots instead of being able to eat a full meal, who are sick and tired of just being given little trinkets, just enough to keep you drawn in. Well, if you're tired of that, if you really want true change, you have to look outside the system. And you're not going to find that if you continue to vote Democrat and Republican.
Yeah. Oh, and just to clarify for people listening, GSM stands for gender and sexual minorities.
Correct.
Pretty much is a broad-based term. I don't know. It probably encompasses almost everybody.
It allows, it's a term that we use in Outright and within the Liberty Movement for the LGBTQ community because it's a bit more inclusive and it doesn't add to the alphabet soup every time there's a new discovery. So, the LGBTQ plus, and then there's always additional letters. This allows us to, focus on the acronym and just cover everybody without having to add more people and make sure everybody's still represented as well.
So if, let's say somebody wants to get more involved with like outright libertarians or just in general feel more of their voice if they're a sexual minority within the party, how would you say you could do that easily? And what's the easiest way to reach out?
Yeah, so we are on Facebook. You can reach out to us at Outright Libertarians. You can reach out to me directly. We do have a website that's currently under construction. It's outrightusa.org. Once we get it back up and running, we'll be taking memberships again. We are just revamping our website, modernizing things to bring it up to 2020. So once that's relaunched, we'll have that out and going. And if you want to get involved, if you want to be a part of things, reach out to me directly, reach out to any of our Magnificent 7 board members, or just reach out to the Outright page. We're always happy to get more people involved and have more people participate.
Awesome. Well, Ashley, thank you for coming on. Lauren, would you like to add anything?
Yes, Ashley, I just want to say thank you so much for joining us. This was really a last minute plea. I was messaging with Ashley and, I think that's serendipitous. And I found that so often in the Liberty movement that I'm able to have real conversations with people and talk to them about, what we're trying to accomplish or what we may need. And what I found is people are always willing to say yes. People are always willing to step up and help. And that was true in my conversation with Ashley the other day, that she said, yes, I will help. I will help support your effort. And let's talk about how we can raise awareness for the causes that we care about, which include women and sexual minorities and people who feel disenfranchised and underrepresented across the board. And Ashley, I'd really love for you to, kind of lead us out as we're about to go into Vermin, and that's going to be high energy, but talk to us about some of the things that you are most excited about the Liberty movement changing for people that are considered gender and sexual minorities. How can the Liberty movement support people who identify as such?
Yeah, so the best way to the Liberty movement can support people is to just understand and accept that people are different. We all are different types of people. We're still, at the end of the day, we're all still human beings. We all still want the same things out of life, which is dignity, respect, a place to call home. We all share those same traits and qualities. We all still want those same things. And to me, the idea of liberty is the ultimate form of love. Right? To tell somebody that you deserve to be who you are, I trust you to make the best decisions for your own life, that is the ultimate act of love. That's how you show love to another person. It's by saying, I don't want to control you. I want you to live your life. I want you to be who you are, and I accept you. And that is what this is all about at the end of the day. It's about bringing people together. And if there's anything that we've learned from this pandemic is that we do need a not good for human beings. It's painful, it hurts, and eventually it drives people crazy. So we do need to learn to be better to each other. We need to learn to listen more to what other people are saying, especially the disenfranchised, especially the marginalized communities. And we need to welcome them in with open arms and say, you belong here too. We're happy to have you because freedom is for everybody.
I'm going to print that and put it on the wall and put it on bumper stickers. You know, I love that we've had speakers now in succession talk about how the liberty movement is the party of love.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's something we don't talk about often enough when we're caught in rhetoric or academic principles, or, you know, getting bogged down into the minutia of what freedom or liberty mean. We forget about the love.
Yeah.
So thank you for bringing us full circle on that, and front and center what matters to each of us most.
Absolutely. And I do want to point out that your next guest, Vermin Love Supreme, is all about the love. And,
segue. Yes.
and being part of his team is one of the most amazing experiences. So if you're looking to get involved in the liberty movement, reach out to Vermin's team. It's a team full of love, compassion, and empathy. I can tell you there's a wonderful project Vermin is going to talk about this evening that we're doing with the Vermin Supreme Institute. It's a Women in Politics series that we're going to be doing that I'm directing as his education director. And I'm going to let Vermin tell the world about it. So he's going to tell you all about that coming up soon. But if you want to get involved, please reach out. If you're looking for a team full of loving, compassionate, caring people, this is where it's at. And Vermin is the ultimate expression of that, which makes him the perfect person to come here and talk, because he empowers women, he empowers people, and he shows them that love is truly the way to go.
Amazing, Ashley. And I'm looking forward to exploring how People for Liberty can support those efforts. You know, Outright Libertarians, certainly the Vermin Team Supreme, who I love. So again, a great way to bring us full circle tonight. Thank you so much for joining us again and making time.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having me.
All right.
Thanks, Ashley.